Hi, my name is Paul and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. Today's ramble, we're continuing on with the servicing of the powertrain of the Letourneau Model DP Tournapull scraper. Now, we previously got the engine drained, we got the transmission drained last night, and now I'm going to start on the final drives and see what we can find. There's some big access panels that we can take off and get to see in there. So join me and we'll see what we can get done today. Oh boy, it goes all the way across. I'm not prepared. I am not prepared. I thought there were two separate compartments, but okay, so we're on to the other side. I was kind of mistaken. I thought there was three separate chambers. Kind of hard to see, but we've pulled 5 pails of about almost 5 pails of oil out of that side, and I believe these are interconnected. And we'll see here. We'll pull this cover off too. The bottom of the pan, or the bottom of that case, is really dirty. But the oil, I think, has sat for so long that the top layer looks very clean. But I'll show you on the other side, there's about a 1/2 inch layer of sediment in there that we're gonna have to, between the cases, see there's a big case lip right here. It's about 2 inches high. So we're gonna have to try to pull it up over that case, and I'd imagine that this drain hole also is probably 1/2 inch off of the bottom of the actual case. So I think the case is, you know, like 3 feet deep or 3 feet long by 4 feet wide, and so we'll want to really make sure that gets super clean. The oil almost looks good enough to reuse again, but I can always buy more oil, but I can't buy another machine. So I think we'll just continue on with the path and change the oil and put some new stuff in it. It's all going to depend on here in the next few minutes if we find a great big pile of silver, which hopefully we don't. So looking in here, look at those big beautiful gears. I'll see if I can get another shot with the flashlight looking in there. But just watch this. Take my finger and I'll just swipe it through. And there's the sediment that I'm talking about. And so we'll get that sediment out of the bottom underneath there. Now, I don't know if, just judging by how this case is all welded together, how far across, obviously they connect, but hopefully there's enough room that I can get some kind of wiper or scraper that I can get underneath there and clean underneath there and rinse it with something. But so far I haven't seen anything dire. It looks to be nice and clean in there, with the exception of maybe just the dirt. I don't see any foreign particles or ground up bearings or anything like that, so that's a good sign. So here's the first 5 pails. I found a manual that is close to this year. I think it's a little older, but I think it holds 35 gallons. So that's like 7 pails. So it was pretty low when we got it. I mean, I think it was a couple inches low. This is I think the level indicator. So I think it was down around here. So that's probably 2 5-gallon pails right there. Anyways, it's coming along. Well, here's the next big reveal. And again, it looks pretty good in there. I think I'm going to jack it up, and I'm going to I think I should be able to jack it up and roll, or at least roll maybe one side at a time, or maybe both sides at a time, and just check all the teeth. I mean, I don't see any. Looks like there's a little dent there. But a guy should just look into it. I haven't found anything in the cases, and you can kind of feel around, and anyways, we'll get this all cleaned out. It's coming along. Well, that went fairly smooth. The big reveal. I will admit I didn't want to take this off, but I needed to see what was inside there, even if it was just for peace of mind. I mean, if a guy spends the next hundreds and hundreds of hours rebuilding all the electrical just to find that that's on its way out, that'd be a tough pill to swallow. So, and then I can actually get a real good cleaning in there. So we'll get this fuel tank out of the way, and we'll see what we got. Looks pretty good though. I had these pieces of channel iron from when I moved that big lathe, and I just put them onto my forks. These are some fairly big forks that I got. I think they were from a telehandler or something, but I whipped up this for the skid steer, but I just wrapped a chain around here and put that pipe in there just to hold them on. But looks pretty good so far. Well, that went fairly smooth. Well, would you look at that? Stock just went up in the old Letourneau. Look at that. Look at that thing. What's this thing? What kind of thing is that? Must be some kind of oil. Must be a some kind of splashing, lubricating. Oh, look, these guys. These guys all have. Oh yeah, look, this must splash, and then this would drip oil into whatever kind of limited slip differential things going on there. But what a clever design. So simple, but just at any point it'll always be dripping into these little kind of funnel shapes there. Anyways, this looks great. From what I see, I mean, there's literally, I mean, there's, yeah, some grime and dirt, and I mean, there's a bit of iron, but I mean, not, yeah, this is great. It's super clean. There wasn't one thing that I found. There was actually these 3 little nubbins. I should have saved them. I think they're gone now. But they looked like a half a ball bearing, and my heart sank. And what it was is when they originally put either the gasket goo or some type of gasket material, when they threaded into this one, there was these little kind of half nubbins that popped into the oil case. And then when I felt around in here, I was like, oh no, there's debris. But when I pulled them out, they were like, you could put your fingernail into them, and they were the whatever back in the day, maybe some type of silicone or some kind of gasket material had pushed through with the bolt through the casing here. But anyways, look at this. It's all in really nice shape. And yeah, these, I'll still jack it up and I will run it over and check all the teeth. But so far so good. Okay, so it's the following morning and I've done a little bit more cleaning. I cleaned this surface off. This was some thick gasket material. Who knows how many times it's been off or whatnot. The blue silicone tells me that it's been off before. Anyways, so what I found was that it's really clean and everything looks to be really good. Now when I say clean, I mean there was no iron filings, there was no foreign debris, there was no damage, and I'm still gonna, I ran out of rags, so I still gotta wash this out really good, but I've got pretty well the preliminary grime out, and the teeth, the final drive teeth are really good, the bull gear and the pinion. And then the differential, the crown and pinion look really good. I've rotated them both several times all the way around and inspected all the teeth and everything's fine. I'll just give you a bit of a demo here. So there's some kind of limited slip differential in there that allows this to do its thing, but I mean everything's really tight. I mean, there's a little bit of backlash, but it is like a near 70-year-old machine. But anyways, everything looks really good. I'm really happy. I'm so excited that everything turned out nice. I mean, the gears look good. There's a couple of spots where it looks like maybe there was a little funny business, but all in all, I'm really happy. So like I said, I'm going to get this cleaned out more. I'll get this mounted back on and then yeah, go from there. Well, it cleaned up pretty good. I got some brake clean, I got some more rags, and I went through it again and cleaned all these surfaces, and it looks really good. Now there's some dints here just from wear and tear. I'm gonna smooth this face before I put the plates back on, just so they don't hamper or interfere with the sealing. Okay. So I have this little rare earth magnet, and I think I'm going to put it in here. I'm just going to set it in there, and maybe I'll put it right by the drain. Then I can monitor to some degree if there's an accumulation of iron filings in the oil, and I can access it from this panel. Just a bit of preventative maintenance and an ability to keep an eye on things. But it cleaned up pretty good, and these edges cleaned up nice. I gave it another bath with the brake clean and wiped it all down just to make sure there was no more iron filings. But this face is good now. Okay, so this is the fuel tank differential cover side. So I buffed it all clean, and now we're going to lift it up into place with the skid steer and seal up this section. I have new gaskets and cover plates we'll put on after. Okay, let's try to use all the features of this. I don't know if we can't quite get in there. Spout cutter. I guess I need a smaller spout. Story of my life. Ha! Okay, we're on to the final drives. So I made gaskets for these, so I'll just put a thin layer of silicone on these ones. This was right. One thing that I noticed was there was no water inside the case in any of the three sides, which is crazy that this machine has sat outside for how long and wouldn't have water in that case. I mean, there was a hint of surface condensation rust, but for water not to have gotten in there. This case is actually kind of cool because it was fully welded. There's no casting, it was all welded, and then they would have machined it all, and there's some really nice welds in there. But for there not to be water in there, that's amazing. Oh yeah, I remember earlier on in one of the screenshots, or in one of the, I was explaining how I had found debris. Well, this is what I was talking about. I found 3 of these, but of course when they were all covered in the grime and the dirty oil from the bottom, they looked like some kind of bearings that had been ground or something, and I just snapped it off of this. So it's harder than silicone. You can just get your thumbnail through it. But when I had my gloves on and was feeling it, that gave me quite a start. Anyways, just thought I'd give you a little glimpse into my shattered nerves. I mean, I want this project to really work. I think it's a cool project. I think there's money to be made with it as a piece of equipment. But it's still, I can't afford to spend all the money on it. I'm hoping that now that we've found it's got a good solid foundation, we can put some effort into the electrical system, and I can see it totally making money and doing little jobs here and there. So fingers crossed. We keep passing checkpoints, achievement points, levels. We keep leveling up. Okay, we are officially filling up the differential and final drives case, or cases. It was perfect. I found a chunk of conduit, electrical conduit, and it just happened to be the same size as this. I think this is 1.5 inch pipe thread, and it just like threaded right in, and then did the old tuck tape special to the funnel, and then I got just one of the welding pipe stands to set the 5-gallon pail on. We have to put 7 5-gallon pails in, so I didn't want to sit there and hold it. So without the breather being poked, it seems to be just going slow enough for this funnel system to keep up. So basically we got to fill up all 3 compartments. This compartment, they're all interconnected, but it's going to be to this height. So I got this one closed right now because it'll just be pouring down and be leaking out of there. But underneath, in the bottom of the kind of internal framework, there's baffle holes or oil oil holes, and then I have this guy open. He's the level indicator, and then of course I have this guy open just for more air venting. But anyways, the silicone came nice, the gaskets went on nice. It's the following morning now, so this has had lots of time to cure up, and hopefully we can get this filled up and see if we can get it to fire up. Well, there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I think we'll wrap it up here. I'll get this buttoned up, filled up with oil, and then I think next episode we will see if we can take it for a bit of a test drive, get it up to operating temperature, and maybe even go through all the gears and see if we can maybe make a bit of black smoke. Anyways, thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.